Hi, so today I'm going to talk to you just really to introduce you to probability. And this is one of my favourite topics actually, and there's so many different things that you can talk about with probability. So this is just an introduction just to get you used to the idea and also the language of it. In particular, I've written some words up here. These are some of the things that you might hear or read when you're looking at probability questions. So things like certain, likely, unlikely, an even chance or impossible. And you'll notice I've drawn a line underneath as well. And these words could possibly fit along that line, and this would be our scale of probability. Now the important thing to know with probability is actually that the scale goes between 0 and 1. And that is a common misconception. A lot of people think actually it goes up to 100 or something else, but no, it is literally just between 0 and 1. And really there are three ways that you can represent a probability, and they are either by a fraction, a decimal, or a percentage. Normally we use fractions quite a lot of the time, and you'll see why in the next video when I start to look at how you can calculate probabilities. So if something is certain, okay, so if we look at this word up here, certain, then we would say it has a probability of 1. So we would put that down here. If something is impossible, okay, then we would say its probability is 0. So we'd put that down here. And quite often, as I say, with probability, you hear this phrase here, an even chance. And if something's got an even chance of happening, okay, then we would actually put it around the middle. Now that middle bit, I'm hoping you can quite easily see, would be, and like I say, you've got several different ways of representing it. As a decimal, we would write 0.5. As a fraction, we would say it's a half. And as a percentage, if we wanted to do that, we would say is a 50% chance of something happening. So that would be your even chance, so that would go there. And then likely and unlikely, it's a bit wishy-washy really, that you can't actually associate a particular number with that, but certainly your likely would go somewhere closer to 1, and your unlikely would go somewhere in this kind of region down here, closer to 0. But it depends on the situation. And you know, we look at probability in a lot of different ways. You know, we talk about probability every day when you watch the weather. What's the chance of rain on a particular day? Is it going to be sunny for the rest of the week, and things like that. Obviously in the economy, you'll be looking at probability, the chances of different companies making money or not making money, and things like that. So probability is quite an important thing. It comes into a lot of different areas. If you think about medicine, if you even think about as an estate agent, you're looking at probability all the time, so it's really important to understand it. So a couple of other things then, if we're looking about the notation, and that's important for your maths and for your GCSE, we tend to use this shorthand to save us writing everything out. So we put a P with a bracket, and then what the actual event is that we're looking at inside the bracket. So probability of scoring a 6 on a dice, for example. However, if you want to make it even shorter, if the question's there in front of you and it's really obvious what you're talking about, you could just literally write P and 6, and that would be fine. Likewise here, probability of getting a king, maybe in a deck of cards, you could put that, or you could just put P in brackets king. Okay, so this is just a bit of an introduction. You're going to see lots of different things to do with coins, a dice, and maybe even some counters and things. If we're thinking about this even chance, some people think they've got a lucky coin or something, but if you've got a fair, non-biased coin, every single time you toss that coin, the chances of you getting a head or a tail is the same. It's 1/2. So even if you've got 6 heads in a row, it doesn't necessarily mean that this coin is biased, because every single time the coin doesn't remember that it had a head last time, it's just being tossed again. So every single time the chance of getting a head is the same as it was on the last attempt. and that's one of the common misconceptions with probability. So in the next video, I'm going to talk you through how you can calculate some simple probabilities, and we'll look at using some of these things here. Okay?